From the studios of the Sound Distillery in New York City, welcome to the Great American Shit Show. Two New Yorkers journey into the current state of American politics and some personal shit with Marion Fontana and Paul Reggio.
Welcome to the Great American Shit Show. I'm Paul Reggio.
And I'm Marion Fontana.
And we have Glenn here.
Glenn.
We got Silent Bob. Nellie.
Yay, Nellie.
Hi, Nellie.
We love Nellie.
She's actually, we're going to get her on camera
No,
one of
she's
these
my
days.
female sister.
Yeah, she's quiet here, but she's actually
She
a pole
has to
dancer.
balance
I don't
all
know if
this
anybody knows.
testosterone in the room.
So how you doing, Paul?
I'm okay. I spent, I'm going away for a month
I do know.
to New Zealand.
Oh, I know.
And Australia. I know. Sorry. So I spent the day switching my seats to the aisle because of that Southwest
out the window.
Oh, that's
I was
terrible.
like,
I did think
I
of
thought
that,
it was
though.
because
Can't
I
believe
had
I
to
just laughed at
pee,
that.
and then
Yeah.
I realized, no, I just don't want to get sucked out
That
of a
is
hole.
messed up.
Yeah,
It's actually very convenient for peeing too,
yeah, it is.
Well,
So I don't
especially
have
on
to
long
step-
Getting
flights. You want
sucked
the
out of the
aisle
hole?
seat.
Yeah, definitely.
No,
Oh,
aisle
no,
seat.
I always get an aisle seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always get an aisle.
I used to love looking out the window, and then when you're in and then you have to keep bothering somebody.
Yeah,
And when you're in a flight that's longer than 4
Yeah, no,
hours, I get.
I don't want to look out the window.
Unless
I
it's your
have no
significant other
desire.
or something,
Really?
and even then, it's a pain in the
I'm
ass.
scared.
You don't like to see whether you're going to crash into a mountain or whether you
No,
have to
I can. I'm
float
just,
on your seat.
I'm just trying to keep myself from urinating on myself. I'm
No,
so
that's
scared.
good. I think that's a good goal.
Yeah, it's a good goal.
That's a vacation
No,
goal
I
number
get.
one.
I'm a very.
I aim for that every day.
I'm a very frightened flyer.
Are you really?
Oh.
Yeah, I really
I am too, actually. I hate flying.
I hate flying, and I'm doing the longest flight I've ever
and you
done.
know
in my
why?
entire
You know why you hate
life.
flying? Same as me.
Yeah.
A control freak. This is just you give it up. You say you get on a plane and you're like, there's nothing I can do.
Right.
So I'm gonna make
but I'm
believe I'm
not-
watching the safety video. They're gonna humor me to tell me that I can float on this fucking little seat cushion that is this thick in the Atlantic.
After you've hit the water
Right.
at 189 miles an hour.
That's
And
gonna
me, I don't
shark
take,
infest.
I don't take my shoes off ever because I'm afraid I have to move out. I'm like, where am I going?
Yeah.
My shoes are going to be blown up, not part of me any longer.
I'm not a control freak because I drive with my mother. And so, I'm not scared of dying. I'm just, my therapist said it's actually more rational to be scared. And
is.
the people that are sleeping when you take off, that's not rational.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
No, they took a couple
You
of
got your
Xanax.
fucking
That's
neck
some
pillow.
crazy-
Oh, fuck you, Glenn. That just got your neck.
Glenn had two
stupid neck
Xanax and a
pillows.
scotch, and he's like, I don't give a fuck where I'm going.
But those people with the neck pillows
Yeah.
while they're,
Oh, the people that walk through the airport with the neck pillow on, I'm
Yeah.
like, excuse me,
Okay.
you look like a douche.
Yeah.
I do have one of those neck pillows, but I don't walk around with it.
All right,
Yeah.
but you keep it on your.
No, I hide it.
Really?
I stuff it in my bag.
Is it print? Is it like a print, or is it a solid color?
Got roses on it.
I know-
No,
I
it
know
I
that-
doesn't.
actually
No,
bought
it's-
one for this
it's
trip.
gray.
Oh,
I
is
bought-
it?
I
you
bought
don't
one.
need that.
Yes, I do.
You flying coach to Australia?
No,
Business
I'm doing
class?
business class because
Nice.
everybody told me I should.
Yeah,
and
there's
I have
no
to take
question.
4 flights to get where I'm going.
Oh, it doesn't go. It's on one plane.
No, I have to go to San Francisco to Sydney, Sydney to Auckland, Auckland to Queenstown.
Oh, that is such a first world problem.
30. I know.
I did
It's so
coach
sad.
to New Zealand. You get through it.
You did coach to New Zealand?
Yeah.
There was a guy
You
that
did? Wow.
on Traveler magazine. He compares, he travels long distances to compare, and he
How
flew.
shitty it
He
is.
flew.
What's
He
shittier?
flew United to Australia, and he was like, it was like the worst fucking thing. The only thing that was good is the people were nice.
Oh, thanks,
Oh, that's
Paul.
good.
I'm totally freaked out about this
What-
flight.
No.
What airline
you-
are you taking?
I'm taking Qantas.
Southwest.
Oh, there you go.
Qantas never. I don't want to
Qu-
jinx it.
Oh my God! What are you
Ay,
doing? He's
caramba.
scaring me.
Taking
now.
Qantas. Taking Qantas.
What?
Qantas. You see Rain Man?
Yeah, I saw Rain Man.
You remember
There's
Qantas?
the whole thing about Qantas Airlines.
No, what? I don't remember that part.
You were stoned, weren't you?
Of course I was.
It's like a really
well,
famous
let me
part.
guess. Did I see it between the age of 16 and 20?
And 32?
Probably.
Probably. Yeah.
All right.
Around there.
All right. What are we talking about?
Oh my God. Well,
Speaking of crazy.
Speaking of crazy, I mean, I used to think that the worst job in the world would be shoveling shit in a zoo, after an elephant or something.
Okay,
But
that's a bad one.
I actually think it's working for Trump.
That's shoveling shit in a zoo, basically.
Because
Same
I'm
thing.
like, how could you work for him? He's like, he he doesn't even let you do your job.
No. Well, because he's a pathological liar.
Right.
And he's not plugged in himself. I don't know if he says things or they tell him things he doesn't remember. He's like the forgetful husband.
Right.
It's like, oh, by the way, we're going to do sanctions on Russia. Oh, okay.
Honey,
What do
I
you
told
mean?
you we were doing sanctions.
Exactly.
I told you Tuesday night right before bed.
But, he's so used to lying.
Yeah, he doesn't even know.
That he actually, he tweeted today. I won't do the voice yet because I know
please,
you're
I
already in a
can't.
mood.
I'm good.
You're already in a mood.
I can't.
geez.
See, he can't help
See,
himself.
He did it.
I keep saying
I was
you're like the brother I never wanted.
I was going to make a 16-hour going away tape for her to play
Oh.
on the flight.
that I will
All right, we're flying over the North
that
Pole.
I will throw out the window that I'm going to be sucked out of.
You're gonna do a book on tape just in that voice.
Take the tape.
Mary
please.
had a little lamb.
No.
It was a loser.
Don't scare the children.
I grabbed it by the pussy. So anyway, but he wrote a tweet saying that he fired Comey not because of Russia collusion, because he just fired him, and the collusion was on the Democrats' part. But he's on tape telling Lester
he went on
Holt I
Lester
fired
Holt.
him because
of the Russia
Trump-Russia thing.
Yeah, he said Russia.
Russia.
I saw
Russia.
that today.
and
And I was
thing,
like,
the Russia
so-
thing.
So somebody on my Twitter said this is like the biggest exercise in gaslighting.
yeah.
And he's
totally.
gaslighting an entire country.
Right,
Yeah.
but Nikki Haley, who everyone's saying, she's going to run for some office someday.
Yeah, she's
so
gonna
Nikki Haley really crosses her T's and dots her I's.
Yes.
And so she consulted with Trump about the sanctions. She went on Sunday
Right.
news
Sanctions against Russia.
saying there's going to be sanctions against Russia. And then, Trump saw it, freaked out, was apparently cursing at the TV.
Yeah, he does a
which
lot
he
of
does that a lot. And then, what's his name? Larry, whatever his
Larry
name.
Kudlow.
Yeah, said, she just forgets.
Yeah, he was going to mansplain that to her.
Yeah, he told. And
He was
I
gonna
love that
cudsplain
she
that.
came back. Totally, I
Yeah.
love that she came. She's
Yeah.
like,
She
with
bitched
all
out.
due respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
But she said today everything's perfect with me and Trump.
Yeah, okay.
And he's like, "Who are you?"
You're next on the list.
Yeah.
Fired. You're fired.
Yeah.
Who's the dark skinned girl?
So she's
dark. Why is she
she's,
so dark?
She's half Indian.
she's half Indian.
She is?
Yeah.
She looks Irish.
Not like American Indian.
No,
She's
India
half
Indian.
India Indian.
Yeah.
Really? But she looks
Not
what
like
is-
the people we misnamed.
Wait, is she
Like, you're
ha-
dark.
like-
You're an Indian. I don't know. That's all I can tell.
Is she half wasp? Because she has like such waspy features.
No,
I don't know
that's
what
just
the-
from
I
living
don't
in
know what
South
the other half
Carolina.
is. Yeah, right.
You just
get
start
like
to look
that.
like that. It's so
It
true.
just happens. I don't know. So I want to talk about Michael Cohen.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
If
so
we must.
it turns out Donald Trump's personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, isn't so much of a lawyer as he is.
Three clients.
He's a mobster with a law degree.
Yeah.
And it made me wonder. I always wondered, why is this guy hanging around Donald Trump for a decade?
Yeah.
Why is Trump keeping him around? Well, it turns out Josh Marshall from Talking Points memo did a little reporting, and Michael Cohen, he wrote, Cohen was actually a childhood friend of Felix Sater, whose father was himself a reputed capo in the Mogligovich organized crime syndicate.
What?
You're
Said-
expecting it to be an Italian name.
Said
That's
to be-
Russian
I was like,
instead.
No. Said to be Russia's largest and most dangerous.
Wow.
This is the same Felix Sater that was a partner with Trump in the Soho Grand.
Oh my God.
That was all funded by Russian mafia money.
It's like a
So
soap
no, this
opera.
gets better.
really
Wait,
is.
this gets better. Cohen's uncle, Morton Levine,
Morty.
owned and
Oh,
ran
Uncle Morty. Sure.
owned and ran a Brooklyn social club, El Carib. You know the El Carib.
I know that El
Okay,
Carib.
which is a well-known meeting spot for members of Italian and Russian organized crime families in the 70s and 80s. I didn't know the Russian part. I knew about the Italian part.
Yeah.
It's my people. We
Yeah.
get the memo.
My
Well,
people.
I'm Jewish and Italian, so
Yeah, you
know,
gotta-
we're mob.
So
all
in the
over.
early 70s and early 80s, the boss of the Russian mob in New York was a man named Evsey Argon.
I love that.
Things ended badly for Argon when he was gunned down in a mob hit in 1985. After Argon was assassinated, his organization was taken over by underboss Marat Balagula. I'm terrible
You're
at this.
not going to get a CNN
No.
job now.
Marat Balagula. I don't want to see
Mark
CNN job. Fake
Balagula?
news. No, Marat. Authorities believe Balagula.
He says matter of
Who
factly.
would name their fucking kid Marat? I'm
He's
sorry.
Russian.
I'm going to name you after Marat Saad.
Marat Saad. Nobody has any idea what we're talking about now. Like if only
Sod
Tony
as
Aitken
in
would know.
sadism.
Okay. So this is important. Authorities believed Balagulo was behind Argon's killing. Both Argon and his successor ran their operations out of an office in the El Carib Social Club.
Did you? Is this
So-
a Harry Potter book?
No.
Okay.
No, I read this article
So
too.
the El Carib wasn't just a mob hangout. From the 70s through the 90s, at least the bosses of the Russian mafia and U.S. literally ran their crime organization out of the El Carib. Now listen to this.
Oh my God.
So Michael Cohen's uncle, Morton Levine, his social club was the headquarters of Russian organized crime in the U.S. The Associated Press takes it further with another detail. According to Levine, who is apparently still alive, all his nieces and nephews own shares of the El Carib and still do. Levine told AP that Michael Cohen owned his stake in the club until Donald Trump was elected president, when he gave up his stake.
Ooh.
This was probably wise. It was also very recent. So one of the abiding questions about Cohen is how he became so deeply enmeshed in the Ukrainian and Russian emigre communities at such an early age. And he moved so early into businesses heavily infiltrated by organized crime. He married a Ukrainian immigrant whose father got him into the taxi business and himself had at least one conviction for money laundering. So who would Trump want to get close to? A half-brained punk with a law degree who would be a conduit for Trump or one of his conduits for Russians
says
who may be
conduit?
looking
Conduit.
Russians who may be
Can't
looking
do it.
Russians who may be looking to
I'm
launder
not
their
allowed. I'm sorry. You say conduit funny. I can't help it.
it's conduit.
No, it's conduit.
Anyway, the conduit, but they wanted the Russians who wanted to launder their money through real estate.
Yeah. Oh,
So
totally.
that's really what he is. So
Right.
now the FBI is giving Michael Cohen investigative colonoscopy, and everything his papers, emails, texts, phone records, bank accounts, and tapes. Cohen liked to record many of his conversations. So as this Trump-Russia conspiracy case moves forward, it turns out that this two-bit mob nephew might just be the reason Trump goes to jail.
Wow.
Because he is the pipeline
Yeah.
to the Russian mob money
God, it's
that
so
Trump
complicated.
has been financing everything with.
Yeah.
Remember, his son said a couple of years ago, "Oh, we don't need to raise money in the United States. We have plenty of Russian money.
Yeah.
It's Russian mob money."
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
And like, this is why Trump's freaking out about Michael Cohen.
Oh, yeah.
Where
And why he drew that red line at the finances.
well, but his lawyers went into the court and they said, "Well, our client wants to see what they seized first."
Mhm.
And the judge was like, "What law are you citing?" They're
Yeah.
like,
Because
it's
we
not
wanna."
fair."
the mafia law.
And he actually,
I can't do it.
Trump, shut up.
Did he just say shut up?
I'm gonna make them sit you by the fucking window on the wing now.
Oh,
Marion's
you
right by
heard
the
it
engine.
here. Sexual harassment.
That's how's that sexual harassment?
No, it's just harassment.
That's just
Because it
mean.
says
It's just
sucked out a window.
It's just harassment. Plain old harassment.
So anyway, so Trump flipped out when he discovered that the last set of sanctions on Russia meant expulsion of 60 Russian diplomats. And now, after his administration decided to impose more sanctions, Nikki Haley announced that he flipped out. So there was an article in the Huffington Post where it said Republicans are befuddled at why he keeps changing his mind about Russia. What is to be
Befuddled?
befuddled about?
Wow.
The guy is a Russian tool.
I
He is
know.
absolutely owned by
And it's been obvious for almost 2 years
I mean,
now.
he basically, oh no, he literally said, they asked Sarah Sanders, they said, well, why did he change his mind on sanctions? Well, he didn't change his mind on sanctions. He believes that he should have a good relationship with Vladimir Putin. And she says it with a straight face, right?
Right.
Crooked eye, but a straight face. And I mean, honestly, at what point is the GOP going to turn around and say, okay, you know what? I get it. This can't stand.
Right.
Absolutely
No.
can't stand.
It's true. I read, this is the one I read over and over. The president's befuddling personal admiration for Putin
Yeah.
seems to get in the way of domestic politics. Last summer, Trump was forced to sign a sanctions bill he had opposed when Congress presented him with a veto-proof majority.
Right.
Privately, the Post reports, this was the Washington Post, Trump lamented that the Mueller probe had thwarted his efforts to befriend Putin. I can't put on the charm, he complained.
Wow.
That just brings up so many horrible visions.
When Trump grudgingly approved the arms sale to Kiev, the Post reports he was infuriated that news of the deal became public. For some reason, when it comes to Russia, he doesn't hear the praise, a senior administration official said. More recently, he disregarded clear instructions from advisor to not congratulate Putin for his fraudulent re-election win. But
say congratulations, Putin?
Yeah, did so anyway, even inviting him to visit the White House. The tension between Trump and his government has resulted in what are effectively two separate Russian strategies, one pursued by the president and one by his administration. On Monday, the president and his cabinet butted heads again, with Trump throwing cold water on preliminary plans to impose additional sanctions.
Well, but that was
announced
after,
Sunday.
that's after they announced it. Now, Nikki Haley didn't just announce it.
But they forgot to tell her. That's what happened.
They totally told her.
No, they didn't.
No, he changed his mind. She got the talking points from the White House.
Oh, no, she got the sanctions talking points,
Right.
but then they forgot to tell her he changed his mind.
Well, that's just shit.
Yeah.
That's just sloppy and shit.
Yeah.
And you have the world really laughing at us.
Absolutely.
And I don't understand. I really, in all seriousness, I don't understand how people like Mitch McConnell, Paul Ryan, forget it. He's a piece of shit. But Mitch McConnell now at this
he's
point,
gone, piece of shit.
he lined his pockets with Russian money.
Of course he did.
So yeah, he's retiring.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. He's retiring to
Oh,
do
Dick
what?
Durbin retired today.
I
too.
hope it
Did he
follows him
return?
and he goes to
Jeez.
prison for it. But yeah.
Well, you know what I thought today? I honestly, I don't even care if Trump goes to prison anymore because he's going to die at some point. But I want everybody
Aren't we
that
all?
has been sprinkled with his orange fucking Cheeto dust, everybody around him, I want to
go
suffer.
down, yeah.
I want Michael Cohen to go to jail.
Yeah.
I want all these people to go to fucking jail. I want Mike Pence to go to jail
Yeah.
because he lied, and Flynn to go to jail.
Yeah.
And if you'll notice, the
His
Robert
voice
Mueller,
is going to get higher.
no, Robert Mueller, they didn't do the
Manafort Gates.
they didn't do the raid as the FBI. They did.
Right.
They put it in the Southern District
Which
of
was
Manhattan.
smart.
Now it's not what's his name?
Schneiderman.
It's not Schneiderman yet.
Good
That's
one,
not a New
yeah.
York State thing. But even if they fire Mueller now, that investigation continues.
Yeah.
So it was brilliant. It was brilliant what Mueller is doing. And there's also a lot of people, consider what Mueller is doing behind the scenes is if he's fired, the district attorneys of Virginia, Maryland, and New York are ready to slam them.
I love it.
He's giving them everything.
That's
so
great.
his thing is like, yeah, you wanna fire me? Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm bulletproof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm bulletproof.
Well, and it was interesting today that Mitch McConnell,
I don't
Congress
wanna-
and Senate wants to pass a bill
I don't wanna
to
think-
protect them
I
from.
don't think it's necessary because my tongue and my neck are the same thing, and I don't think it's necessary. I'm doing this all the way to Australia. I'm going to go with her. Her surprise is going to be she's going to get on the plane and going to be like, "Hi, Marianne."
Oh my God.
Psych.
I get the middle seat.
This is what I dreamt about last night.
Did you really?
Yeah, and
I
I woke-
had so much coffee,
And
I'm
I
so
woke
up.
up screaming. And
All right,
sweating.
when we
And
come,
then Ben said to me, you wouldn't believe what he said to me.
me and Ben are going to come. When we come back, what are we going to talk about? We got to
I have
continue with this
so
shit.
much. We have so
She's
much
got
Russia.
so much. You know what? There's so much Russia.
So much Russia.
This Russia thing.
I'm going to grow a mustache
It's a
by the
hoax.
time we come back.
Oh, wait, that's-
No, you can't talk like Trump unless it's absolutely necessary.
It's
Seriously.
always absolutely necessary.
No, you can't. When we
Oh,
come
she's
back, I'm
really
going to
good.
stop Paul from
She's got
talking
her,
like that.
Do it again as Mitch McConnell.
She's got her tits in a twist today. You okay, Marion?
Eh.
You know what? I'm in pain. I went to the doctor today, and being old, he said, "Have you ever had the shingles the vaccine?" And I was like, "No. Is there one?" I said, "I had the measles." He said, "Good. Doesn't matter." But this vaccine, it's like 90% chance that you won't get the shingles.
I was told to get that just recently too.
And it's a tooth thing, and I have to go 2 months. But my arm is killing me.
Oh, you did get it.
I got it. And I'm like,
Oh,
wow.
your arm hurt.
It does. It's a first world problem.
Give us a vaccine.
Shingles does suck. My brother got it.
Yeah,
It was
I
horrible.
know. I want to get it too. When we come back, we'll talk about the
Okay
shingles.
then. Yeah. And all sorts of other ailments.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Great American Shit Show. I'm Marion Fontana.
And I'm Paul Reggio. I'm still sitting here.
He's still sitting here, getting all worked up.
I am. I'm sweating.
Paul's angry that we were teasing him.
Yeah,
No. It was fine. I was just blowing the lid. It was an investigative report.
Yeah.
They were giving out Pulitzers, and I got inspired. So I read the material that all the Pulitzer Prize winners wrote.
I know, but they should have Glenn and I on CNN and CSNBC giggling on the side of them, don't you think?
I think
It would
so.
be so much
And where
better.
would I be?
It'd be very amusing.
I'd be sitting here alone.
You'd
Hi.
be sitting here, hi. It's
Glenn
my
and Marion got a
podcast.
new gig, and
It's my podcast.
and you know what I'm gonna.
Yeah, that's what he does when he gets
All right,
worked
what
up.
do we got?
Well, I was really pissed that McConnell wouldn't bring that bill to the floor. Protecting Mueller. Stop talking like that. Oh my God. And
I'm 12
He
now.
really is
I
12.
really am 12. Okay.
It's been that kind of day.
and he even though there's a growing consensus that there's concern that he's going to fire Mueller. He's threatened it
Yeah.
twice
Right.
already,
Yeah.
and it happened
least.
before with Nixon. So they're trying to not repeat history. And he's like, I don't see any need for it, and I'm not bringing it. I'm not bringing it.
You know what's funny? Trump makes Nixon look like a giant.
I know.
Look like an absolute constitutional giant.
Yeah.
I know.
Because this was at a time.
And a nice man.
First, well, he was crazy.
No, but in
But
comparison.
he's
Yeah.
somebody that actually had accomplishments.
Yes.
Yeah.
He had accomplishments. He was qualified, and we had a Congress where the Republican leaders went to him and said, "You know what? You're going to get impeached.
Yeah.
Right.
So you should just get out of
Vamoose.
town."
Yeah.
That's never going to happen now.
I know.
Never going to
I
happen.
know.
It's stunning.
It's really disturbing. So I just, this is why I come in cranky, because you watch this all day. You're like hitting your head.
It's true.
So I was like, first of all, I can't believe Mike Pompeo is going to be our Secretary of State. Maybe not.
He's a Tea Partier, right?
So
oh, yeah,
he's-
very much
He's
so.
one of like those Freedom Caucus.
Yeah,
nuts.
he's bad. I mean, he has, in his history, devalued religious tolerance and women's reproductive rights. He's just known as this extremely right wing, and he doesn't believe in diplomacy.
No.
So,
Which, as a Secretary of State, is a problem.
so he's not even nominated yet, and Trump sends him to North Korea for the first time in history to meet with Kim Jong-un.
The
The first time in 2 decades.
You know
he went
he
by
went alone.
himself
Yeah.
in a secret mission.
Right.
Unbelievable.
And what's even worse is he didn't tell the Committee on Foreign Relations.
Yeah, they just do shit.
yeah.
which is totally against protocol. And he kind of
the CEO
he
president.
might have buried himself by doing that,
Yeah,
because
I don't know.
if they're not going to elect him now or whatever,
Yeah,
approve of his.
approve of
Trump today said he was in one of his meetings where everybody praises him, and he said Mike Pompeo went to Korea. I won't do the voice because
Okay,
she's going to
thank you.
smash. She's winning.
Yeah, she's ready.
Wait,
he
whose
said-
voice? It depends on
Trump.
who. Oh yeah, no,
Mike Pompeo gives a shit what he sounds like.
I don't even know what he sounds like.
We
He
love
said
you, Mr. Trump.
Mike Pompeo is going to go down in history as one of the best, as one of the greatest secretaries of state,
Yeah.
which means he's going to jail
Oh, that was
too.
what he
Right.
said down at Mar-a-Lago. So he's down at Mar-a-Lago, and all of his staff is freaking out
Yeah, the
because
Southern White House.
he said that he's going to obsess about Comey's book and all the things
Yeah,
that
and
he's
he
been,
is, actually.
and he's obsessing. And then the Japanese guy, what's his name, Abe.
Abe.
He's got bad press in his country, so
Yeah.
they're hoping they can have this thing
Right.
that people will forget that they did all. These
I think
horrible
Abe's
things.
just hoping there are hookers. I'm just thinking.
What's his big controversy that he
I have no idea.
embezzling,
I don't know, actually.
You know what?
prostitution?
We have our hands full with America. I can't.
Oh yeah, we
concentrate
can't
on
even.
Japan.
Please, foreign.
I know.
foreign
I don't think
affairs.
it was as bad as that. I mean, things that are like used to be a scandal aren't a scandal anymore.
Right.
There's a governor. I forget which state he is. and I have
Missouri?
Yeah.
Greitens?
who he
that his
tied up a woman on exercise equipment
Yeah.
and basically raped her.
Yeah.
And admitted it. And now he's like
running for Senate.
No, he went.
He's the governor.
He's the governor. He will not. He will not. He's saying
won't quit.
Oh, it's fake. It was all consensual. He said I tied her up and I spit on her and did whatever I did.
Oh my
He was like
God.
totally abusive. And he went to a fundraiser and everybody in the audience gave him a standing ovation.
Oh my God.
What the fuck kind of country?
No,
do we
our
live in?
bar, our moral bar
Done.
is like on the ground.
Done.
It's really disturbing.
Kimba Wood, who is presiding over the Michael Cohen
Yeah.
trial. The reason you recognize that name, if you do, is Kimba Wood was going to be
Yeah.
Bill
Was
Clinton's.
she in The Lion King?
That's very funny.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, you get that. But she was going
Thank you.
to be Bill Clinton's attorney general. And
Oh,
she
that's
she
right.
wouldn't pass through the Senate. You know why? Because she hired an illegal immigrant to be her housekeeper.
Oh, I remember that.
Even though she paid taxes on her.
Wow.
Right.
And they said, no, that disqualifies you.
Mm-hmm.
Now that
Now,
that makes you
please.
like,
Now
now you could
Trump
be like,
slept with illegal
Yeah.
immigrants.
Yeah.
he
Had a
one
baby.
shipped
And
over in a
paid
crate.
them.
Got her an abortion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So disturbing.
It is.
And now his buddy Sean Hannity. Can we talk
Oh.
about him?
I don't know. What's to even talk about? Sean, now,
Well,
okay.
because he's basically got a role in the White House
He does.
unofficially.
They're calling him
He's
like the
been
shadow.
whispering in Trump's ear for a really long time, and now even Fox executives are getting upset.
Yeah, I don't think so. They
yeah,
said
they
we're
are.
fine with
Murdoch
it.
is not okay with it,
Oh,
and
really?
Murdoch, who hurt himself over Christmas on his son's yacht. Oh,
He hurt himself? What did
yeah,
he do?
he like
Well, he's like 100.
broke a leg. He's like 82 or something, but
That's
he's
close.
back. And everyone says he looks taller. That was the article I read. They're like, he looks taller. And I'm like, oh. But I'm kind of glad he's
That's
back
his
because
Westworld version.
He's looking liberal next to
Yeah,
Sean
I
Hannity.
know.
And journalists are supposed to be unbiased.
Well, he doesn't.
And
he
Fox
doesn't,
News
yeah.
is basically the White House.
It is.
It's
He doesn't
kinda
consider himself to
interchangeable.
be unbiased, though. He considers himself to be a pundit
Ugh,
and
pundit.
an opinion guy.
I'm going to
But
be a punch
you
it.
can't be an opinion guy and have a lawyer on
Mhm.
and slam what Mueller is doing and not say this guy also
Yeah, but
represents me.
his executives are pissed because he didn't tell them about the
He didn't
Cohen
tell anybody.
connection. And then he went on, his producer is notorious for wanting to see his copy before he goes on.
Mm-hmm.
And he went on and just said, oh, yeah, Cohen, and did the whole thing without approving it. So he's pissed off some people there. He thinks he's invulnerable. He goes
Yeah,
to
he does.
Mar-a-Lago
So did
and he's
Bill-
like, I went to Mar-a-Lago and
Bill
he's-
O'Reilly thought he was bulletproof
yeah,
too. and
exactly.
nobody
so
is.
I will
Nobody
be
is.
very happy to
Oh,
see
I'd
him.
love to see him
I
go
hate
down.
those guys.
I wanna know-
And he's a conspiracy theorist. Oh, which brings me to
Oh, her voice
I
just
know
got
I got
right.
excited today
She just had
because
Paulitis.
no, I did.
They pick on
Alex
me.
Jones,
Yeah.
the guy who does that
Oh,
horrible show
talk about a piece of
InfoWars.
shit.
So the Sandy Hook families are suing him.
Well, and now he's
love
saying
that.
he went on his radio show and he said, "I believe the Sandy Hook massacre actually took place."
Yeah, no.
Too late.
Too
Yeah.
late. You've
Too
been
late.
saying it. But
Stupid
then,
asshole.
every time he's, been challenged, the guy, he does it with Owen Schroyer as his
have no
producer.
idea.
Yeah.
They double down on their controversial comments. So there's all these conspiracy theorists that pressure him to say the
Right.
things he does. And if he backs down even a little, they freak out. And so then he's like, but they're making me say it.
Oh, my-
I mean, it's just
wow.
pretty much what
Wow.
his
What a-
defense
So that's
is.
his
What
defense?
a baby.
They're saying that the
You
father.
can't even stick up for your own bullshit.
Yeah.
I know he can't, and basically the point
Even
of
though
the
his whole
lawsuit
thing is that he's a
to
tough
stop
guy.
it once and then fall because it's just untethered conspiracy theories
Well,
that
there's
he's
no tethering.
spewing on television, and people believe it.
They do.
and
They
they're
do.
saying
Certain
that
quantity do.
Sandy Hook is a synthetic experience and with actors.
Well, they said the Syrian thing was also
Yeah.
a false flag.
yeah, and it's
That
been-
wasn't really a
Right.
thing.
right, and that every time he goes and backs down, that the conspiracy theorists go crazy and they threaten the Newtown families.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
right.
they threaten them.
They
Death-
threaten
they
people.
get death threats
They
all the
threaten
time.
people whose children were gunned down.
Isn't
in the
that-
first grade?
Well,
And
they're
the-
threatening the kids from the high school.
Oh yeah,
too.
it's just crazy.
That
I
that
mean,
one Republican guy who had to no, he was a newscaster or he had a radio show, I think it was.
right?
And he said something about a hot poker up his and
Oh,
really?
killing him
Yeah,
that
he
way.
should stick a hot poker up his ass.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
he did
said.
have to resign.
He
But
did, but thank God someone's holding somebody accountable. I mean, there was
It's
a
a
lot
rare
of that.
moment of
No,
that.
but it
Yeah,
started after 9/11. I have to say, there were a lot of people writing me saying that the towers, happened on purpose.
Oh,
and,
yeah, I know.
And
There
you
was
know
a
how
lot of that.
hurtful that is when you're
Terrible.
grieving to have somebody say that, it could have been prevented and it's all conspiracy. My brother.
I unfriended
My brother
people.
on 9/11 posted a paragraph article on the conspiracy theory of 9/11 on 9/11 with a picture of me and my husband and my
Whoa.
son. And I
in
almost
what
stopped
publication?
on Facebook. He just put it for
You
his
know-
5,000 followers.
I know Michael
Yeah.
Cohen can
Whoa.
take care of that. What was that?
I don't know.
That was the
Was that-
conspiracy. That was them.
Oh, it was them.
Yes.
Hello, Russia. We have you on the line.
Michael Cohen? Michael Cohen?
Like, are you there?
It's Yuri from St. Petersburg. Yes, Yuri.
How does Michael Cohen, just to sidetrack for a second, only have 3 clients?
Oh, and none of them pay him.
It's like,
Trump doesn't pay him.
I know.
So
How
okay,
is he making
again,
money? Oh, his voice is getting really high.
Again, the guy, there was one client was the RNC guy that he had to make a deal with a woman. He got pregnant and had an abortion.
1.6
They paid her
million.
1.6
You
million.
know,
I'd get a fucking
the
abortion. for
RNC had to have a DNC?
Yeah. Wow.
Sorry.
That's like, I don't even know. Like a Stubby K, like all of a sudden came out of
Sorry,
nowhere.
I couldn't help that.
And then he has Hannity who said, well, I never really paid him for anything. And the president doesn't pay him. So where is he getting his money?
Well, that's a good question.
Can we say Uncle Morty?
Yeah.
And the El Carib? And the fucking Russian mafia. This guy is the conduit.
Oh, yes. Thank you. That was really good. I
I'm
like
a
you saying it
fast
wrong.
learner.
You are.
I mean, beside the fact that I don't believe he's not getting paid by anybody.
He's not
Of
getting paid by
course.
Trump.
I can't
Trump's
wait
a
to-
cheap prick.
I can't wait to
He's
see.
getting paid. He's getting something from the Russians that are laundering their money. That's where you make your money.
When are we going to see all these transcripts? I'm excited.
I don't.
me
with the
too.
transcripts of what?
Of Cohen's stuff. All the stuff that
Oh, I don't know.
the judge
the
said.
audio
have to-
tapes.
They
The
have
audio
to. They have to go
tapes.
through them.
I know, but it's exciting.
Yeah, I think they'll
The
be
taint
released.
team needs to go through them.
Yeah.
It ain't
Just
gonna
saying.
happen.
I stayed in a Best Western
Trump's like,
once.
"Come
It needed a
on."
tank.
It's neither here, it's neither there.
I always want to have one of those cameras when I go into a
Oh,
hotel.
yeah, like for blood.
Yeah,
Like
and semen,
Oh,
when
God.
they do all that.
Why
Ooh.
would you want to
stay?
do that? Ignorance is bliss.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No,
Ignorance
it's
is
not.
bed
Ignorance
bugs.
makes you. It's not bliss. It makes to be educated and know. Take the comforter off your bed.
Yeah.
Don't sleep with
geez,
the comforter. Get the
let's-
blanket in the closet.
Another
let's
joke
ex-
came to mind, but I'm just
Let's explain that light to the TSA as you're going through.
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
exactly.
It's like this is to see if there's semen on the covers or blood. Now, never mind. You could throw it out.
No, I was on a flight to Hawaii once, and a roach crawled across my seat, which is really one of the grossest things.
Now,
that-
was it a native of Hawaii?
It had a little
A little lay?
a lay on it. So I think
It was going across your seat like this.
like, come on, I want to lay.
a little hula skirt.
See, that's why they. Could you imagine? Like you live in paradise, and New Yorkers come on, and they got fucking roaches on them.
What the heck?
Gross.
On a plane.
On
On
a
a
plane, on my seat.
Ew.
Samuel L.
Ew.
Jackson is making roaches on a plane. Did you know that?
Stop
No,
it.
I'm kidding, of course.
Oh, jeez.
He'll make anything.
God.
Samuel L. Jackson will make any movie.
He
as long as
will.
they pay
He will
him.
make anything.
As long as they pay him, and he says "motherfucker," he's good.
Maybe
doesn't
he
care
can
what-
make it. Maybe he can do like a podcast
Oh, like-
biopic of us.
Oh, that would be great. Listen, motherfucker.
That's right. All right. When we come back, we have to do sexual predator of the week.
Oh, it's already?
No, can't we?
No,
Okay.
I don't know.
We have one more episode before that.
Yeah, I think
I mean,
so.
segment.
Yeah, we do. I have to talk about I have to talk about Starbucks.
Oh,
All
yes.
right.
Okay, we'll be back.
All right. There we go.
Welcome back to the Great American Shit Show. I'm Marion Fontana.
And I'm Paul Reggio. We cooled it off while we were.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Got a
like a
little-
hot flash in
Got a
here.
little steamy.
Seriously.
So
hot.
as we know, Philadelphia police were called to a Starbucks because 2 black men were
Yeah.
sitting there without buying anything, which I do all the time.
Oh, yep.
I
Everybody
actually-
does.
And
Yes.
I do work. I look for an outlet to
of
charge my phone.
course. Everybody does.
But I'm hooked on coffee, so I get it anyway. So they said they were waiting for someone, and the manager called the police. So the Philadelphia police come and they arrest these 2 guys.
It's crazy.
Now, everybody got crazy. Somebody took the video of
Yeah.
it, and that is why it became a thing.
right.
And then people were calling for a boycott of Starbucks. Now, in response, the CEO of Starbucks and his management team, his senior people, flew to Philadelphia,
Yeah.
met with these guys, and they put a group together. And I'm gonna read what came out of that.
Okay.
Nearly 175,000 employees will take part in the anti-racial bias training when the 8,000 stores close, according to a statement from Starbucks, which will focus on preventing discrimination in our stores. The curriculum, and we hear the police coming now from you, don't we?
Yeah, exactly.
The curriculum, developed with several partners, including the NAACP and former U.S. Attorney General, will also be, what's his name?
Holder.
Eric Holder.
Yeah.
Will
Sorry, you
also
caught me by
become
surprise
part
there.
of the training for new hires, the company said, and will be made available to other companies. Now,
Wait, are you saying I can't get a venti chai skim latte for a whole day?
No, it's just the
Yeah.
afternoon. It's just the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, they know people will be jonesing.
Shoo.
But now I have to say, you got to sort of give credit where credit is due.
No,
here.
it's great.
They're
a good
agreed.
company.
I think they are. In all good conscience, they said, look, this is fucked up. We had a bad employee,
Right.
and they could have very, very easily have just let it go.
Yeah.
And nobody was going to really boycott Starbucks. Nobody's going to hurt
They're too
their business.
addicted.
Right. It's not just that. They're just omnipresent. They're all over the place.
Yes.
Right.
And, people
But they
aren't.
are a good company. I have a friend who's an executive, and they're really,
Yeah.
really good.
So
to their
what they're
employees.
doing is they're trying to do the right thing.
Right.
And there are still people who are like, it's too late. You
Oh,
did it
shut
already.
up.
This happened, then
Just
it's too
shut
late.
up.
Now, here's my question. Where's the outrage at the Philadelphia police?
Yeah.
Because
or the Russians.
Right.
Hello.
what Russians?
In general, they're
Oh, no,
hacking
no. Russia.
Russia.
No. But in all seriousness, the Philadelphia police, they walked into a situation where a white manager called about two guys that was sitting there peacefully. And they walked in, and without really asking them any questions, they arrested them for trespassing. And they held them for 8 hours, and then they didn't charge them with anything.
And if I remember correctly, they were all white officers. I
Yep.
believe. Were there any black
On
officers in it?
bicycles. Nothing like getting arrested by somebody with a bike helmet on.
I was
Is it?
struck by how
It's like stupid as
casual
they-
they were.
They were casual.
The cops?
Oh no, the
Oh,
guys,
the guys.
being
Well,
arrested. They
but
weren't
the
like
whole
saying,
thing-
"Why are you doing this to me?"
The whole thing was casual. They totally expected to be arrested.
But
Now-
that's fucked up.
That's fucked up. But why weren't those police trained to walk into that situation and say, wait a minute, what's going on
Let's
here?
de-escalate here.
Let's
Yeah.
de-escalate.
Let's
why,
ask some
why am I
questions.
arresting them?
De-escalate, very good, Glenn.
You're waiting for your friend. Okay, you're not going to buy something. Hey, you know what? To sit in here, you really should buy something.
But I think it's disturbing that their natural response is to get like it's nothing. I cry when a cop pulls me over, and
Well-
it's like, I get so freaked out by cops.
But they've lived with it their whole lives.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
yeah.
It's like kind of scary. I think it's more disturbing that it doesn't even feel like a thing.
Well, but it's the whole choreography of the whole episode.
I know, but that's
You have the
something
cops,
wrong
they
with
were-
our
they were-
country when they're just like, yeah, all right.
Right.
gotta
I mean,
get
how many
arrested.
cops were in that place? 5 cops? 6
Yeah,
cops?
yeah.
The 2 guys sitting there doing nothing.
Right.
Just saying, look, we didn't buy anything. You're not letting us use your bathroom. That's fine.
Right.
We're going to sit here and
We're
wait
waiting
our
for
friend.
somebody. Yeah.
They weren't doing anything.
Right.
And the police walk in. I have to say, I would bet anything that wouldn't happen in New York City. That wouldn't happen maybe in a major city. Philadelphia police are terrible.
Wait a minute. You can't say all cops are terrible.
Not all.
No.
But Philadelphia.
I was actually going to
had-
bring something up about that in a moment.
Go ahead. What?
Well, did you guys see the other news story about the 2 black guys in the LA, what is it? LA something gym, the
LA
LA
Fitness.
Fitness?
LA Fitness gym,
Yeah.
who
Where was this?
had signed in. One of them had a 4-day pass. One of them had a full membership. The guy who had the full membership signed them in. Beep. Everything was good. He said, "This is my friend. He's got a 4-day pass." Boom. Beep. Okay, your 4-day pass is good. They start working out. And then one of the managers decides to start harassing them and say, "You don't belong here."
Wow.
And they're like,
Where was
no,
this?
It was in New Jersey.
oh, well,
And
there you go.
No, but the story continues. Story continues.
Okay.
You should have started there.
They then had an argument with the manager and went back and kept exercising. Then 2 cops show up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
When the cops showed up, the manager started harassing them again, saying, "Cops are here. You guys have to leave." And they were like, "Well, let's just sign back in so that you can see that we're all
that
good."
we're legit.
So he did. And they even took the camera and put it on the monitor, and you could see that everything was good. They were like, "Oh, yeah, everything, check."
Wow.
And they were like, "See? All right, cops, we're good. We're going to go back and keep exercising." So they went back to exercise.
And the cops were cool.
5 more cops show up. But now here's the part of my
Were
story.
they coming to work out?
No, but this
you
is
really need this time in Australia. I
but
gotta be
this is
honest.
the part of the story that actually is a little bit of a counter to this other one.
Yeah.
Those cops de-escalated everything. They
Okay.
were cool. They were chill.
Why
They were
did
like,
they even come?
They were like, well, because they got called.
Oh my
And so then they
God.
have to come.
That's ridiculous.
So now that they're there, they're like, wait, so what are you
You're just-
doing?
Yeah,
Why
what's
are
the
you
issue?
yelling at this guy?
Yeah.
We just saw, they checked with the other cops. Yeah, there was beeped
So then
in.
what's the issue?
See, I'm
What's
always
the
scared
issue?
when I'm that I'm going to get kicked out of the gym because I suck. And I don't do
no.
enough.
I wish I could kick people out of the gym because they
They're
smell.
like, ma'am,
No,
we're going to have to
Marion,
leave for the 5-pound weights.
Marion, that's why I don't
you can
go.
totally
Oh,
handle
I
10.
got to be honest. People really need to, I go to Equinox, which is a good gym. I
It's
mean,
a
like-
very
it's-
good gym.
But people really need to tighten it up, man. They go in there, they smell like beasts.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I mean,
it's gross.
you know, because there are
I go
people
to,
that,
I can top you. I go to Crunch.
yeah.
Crunch is like seriously.
I used to
sticky.
go to Blink.
Blink.
You don't go, you don't work out. You're such a beefy man.
Yeah.
I'm a beefy man.
Buff. You're so
Beefy man.
buff, Glenn. You're so buff.
You're so buff.
I love working
Well,
out though.
Running this place, I just got like too busy and stressed out and focused on it, and then
Oh,
I just stopped
Maureen.
going.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then
That's healthy.
And then other things happened, and they were like, "We have to terminate your
You know,
account."
the workout police are
Oh,
going to show
yeah,
up
yeah,
at your house.
right.
They're going to be like, "We heard you haven't worked
No,
out."
but
in a really
you know,
long time."
I'm doing planks and stuff at home.
But I think what you the point you bring out is important. It's like it's just a matter of course that this happens to black people, especially black men.
Right.
You know, they are instructed as children if their parents
To
are smart
expect
about it
to be cool.
to say what you're going to do. Then you have Philando Castillo,
Right.
who said to the cop, "I have a gun,
Licensed.
I'm
yep.
licensed to carry," and the guy put 7 fucking bullets
Freaked
in
the
him.
fuck out, went into a panic, and shot
Yeah,
him.
you know, I
That was a
it's
stunning
the
bit of
whole
video.
system is really rigged against them. It is.
is.
I mean, my son has all friends of color,
Yeah.
and I've seen it.
Yeah.
My son got arrested for smoking pot in the park. And it was really embarrassing because the guy went undercover, and I have to say, I was like, good outfit. Like he really did
Oh,
look
really?
like,
Part?
yeah. And he came up to, smoke with them, and he arrested them, and they, and I was.
Did he get high with
I
them
was
first?
mortified, and it was.
Yeah,
by
that'd be
the way,
fucked up.
this is the precinct where Eric Garner was killed.
Yeah.
Oh, in
So it's
Staten Island,
all
right.
white Italian guys. And they were very nice to me. I'm waiting for hours. It's like 4 a.m. And they keep walking by and saying, is someone helping you? And I'm like, yeah, my son's upstairs. Now, the guy says to me, he's like, now I've been doing this a long time. Most kids have a joint or bubbler. Your son had a bong that was this big. And he shows it like the size of a knapsack. So all night long they're walking by there. It's like, is anyone helping you? I'm like, yeah, my kid. Hey, Joey, the kid with the bong. Is he processed yet? And I'm just like, I have my head held so low. I was
You
just
know
like,
what? If your son was black, he might
mortified.
have actually gone to prison.
No, but
Yeah.
this my point of the story.
Or not made it out alive.
Not made it out.
This is the thing. My point of the story is there was a really sweet kid next to me who was arrested, same as Aiden, for smoking pot in his building. And because it was public housing, the cop can go into his hall and arrest him. And now this kid who was smart and wanted to go to college is now not going to be able to go to college because
he's
if you
got
have
a
an arrest record,
Right.
you can't apply for
Right.
FAFSA. And
Oh, is that right?
yeah, you can't.
Wow.
So he's not going to get aid to go to school and the whole thing. Now I can pay a lawyer to get my son
Yeah, you can.
expunged. He can go to college.
Right.
It's all stacked against him. It's so
Isn't
disturbing.
expunging like when you oh, that's exfoliate. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's to get your pores
Like
clean.
pores.
Part
Yeah.
of the thing that I rant about on
Yeah.
on Facebook and whatnot on all of these things
Snowflakes.
is the my angry rants on Twitter is the training
Yeah.
that obviously the cops are not
They don't have.
getting.
Yeah.
They're not getting de-escalation. They're not being trained to be calm in tense situations. They're not being trained to use their deadly fire correctly.
Well,
No,
the
but to
kid
be
that they
fair,
dropped-
though, I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I feel like, I go to yoga and I meditate to stay calm all day. And there are moments of your day where you're like, God damn it.
Yes,
that
you don't
was-
this is their
You don't
job.
carry a Glock.
I know,
This
but
is their very purpose.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry. Here's the deal. If you're
But-
high strung, you shouldn't be a cop. Now, I will
That's correct.
say,
No, but they get jaded. I mean,
They do
these
get jaded.
guys are dealing with the really
Okay,
difficult situation.
but that's not what we're talking about here.
Right.
We're not talking about,
You know
people
the
making
lady
a
who
split
landed that plane
Yeah.
and how she stayed calm?
She was
trained to stay
awesome.
calm.
She's my
Right,
shiro.
woman.
That needs to be with cops.
Woman pilot, one of the
Yes.
first female fighter pilots ever in the country, and she was cool as a cucumber. She was like,
I think
we
someone
have
just
to-
blew out the
yeah.
window.
No, my plane is not
No,
on
she
fire.
really did say
Yeah,
it
she
like
said,
that.
my plane's not on fire, but there are injuries. And
I'm going to need
can there be medical
assistant.
personnel?
Yeah, I'm gonna need
I was
medical.
like, wow, this person is like, there's nothing that's going to shake
Yeah,
her.
because if I had 30 years experience, I'd be like, oh my God, the fucking engine fell
Yeah.
off.
You'd have
I
the
would
Paul
be
voice.
freaking out.
I'd be
I would
like,
have the
just
Paul
my
voice.
fucking luck. What asshole gave me this plane?
I knew I should have gone
God
an aisle
damn
seat.
it. I knew that fucking ground control hated me. Fuck them. When I come in, you better tell them it's their ass.
Oh boy. Okay, so when we come back,
No, wait.
I interrupted you on something.
sorry.
I just want to wrap this up.
Okay.
Because in New York, and I'm critical of police but New York has a whole different groups and divisions of police. Community policing. You see the guys in the blue thing.
well, that's smart.
There are people that they come in and they learn how to deal with situations.
Right.
Yeah.
Not every beat cop is going to be great. Just like it's a false equivalence. But the employee in Starbucks was an idiot. You're going to have idiot racist cops. That's just what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But for the most part, their training now is more towards dealing with situations than just those Philadelphia police. I'm sorry. People are making a big deal out of Starbucks. I blame those cops 100%.
Well, but
if I'm that cop, I walk in and I say to him, what's your issue here? Why did you call me?
No, but here's the issue too, and this is true of because I deal with a lot of cops because I work with, firemen, and I've met a lot of cops. They all live in Staten Island.
Not all
and
of them.
a lot of them live in Staten Island because they can't afford to live in the city.
Not to paint with a broad brush.
No, but they do. A lot of them live
they
on
live
Staten
in
Island.
Brooklyn, too.
But I'm just saying they live in predominantly white neighborhoods.
Yes, the white
right?
Republican
And then they
zone,
have to patrol in predominantly black. So that whole community policing idea is difficult.
Broken.
The whole exactly.
Yeah, but
you want to have them merge.
I'm sorry. If you're a cop in Brooklyn, maybe the city government or whatever should figure out a way to make it affordable
Exactly.
for them to have housing.
That's my point.
in
that's just-
fucking
That's
Brooklyn.
That
and,
shit's never
and
going to happen.
firemen too.
That's
There's
never
an
gonna-
idea.
There's an idea.
That's
All
never
right.
going to happen.
When we come back, we have sexual. You guys have to vote on the sexual. predator of the
Okay,
week.
we got a couple of good ones. I think that governor guy should just be the guy
Yeah, well,
for the
we'll
rest
see.
of the season.
for the rest of the season.
All right, we'll be back with
right.
sexual predators.
In your pants, I'm not ready. Keep your in your pants, it's not time. Keep your in your pants, I don't want it. Keep your in your pants, it's not mine.
Welcome back to the Great American Shit Show. I'm Paul Reggio, putting up with this fucking song again.
I'm Marion Fontana.
Nellie, we need an animation to that song.
I was
we
very
need-
Good luck
animated.
with
We
that.
need an animation to put penis in your thigh.
It's a great song.
My penis is already in my thigh.
Oh,
We'll have to put an explicit
yeah.
I do.
warning.
Rated R.
We explicit language. It's
Oh,
on
how
every one
cool.
of our. They don't pay attention to any fucking thing
It's
we do.
called the
here.
Great American Shit Show, for God's
Oh, good
sake.
point. It's in the title.
It's in
It's
the
in the
title.
title. If you come here expecting anything else, you're in the wrong place.
We curse a lot.
And you're not very observant. Okay. I
Actually,
guess.
people are stealing it.
Are they? I know. I
stealing our
sent you
name.
that thing. It's true. There's
Liz
a lot
Winstead
of
said
shit
something.
show.
She's doing some shit show.
She's doing a
Your
shit show
guy
comp.
that you know wrote a book about the shit show.
Charlie
You're all stealing
LaDuff.
it.
Charlie LaDuff, who was a New York Times reporter that followed me around for a year,
Listen,
just wrote a show called The Shit Show.
my personal attorney, Michael Cohen, will be calling you.
And John.
Four clients now.
John Oliver.
Oliver has been stealing our material.
John Oliver.
Totally.
Okay, writers of John Oliver's show.
Perhaps we should have a British
I
accent.
know exactly what you're doing. All I have to say is, hello, hello, hello.
I was going to say, we're for hire.
I love John
that's a
Oliver.
better
I think
approach,
John Oliver's
isn't it?
brilliant. John, that's the
I
best
love him.
half-hour television.
Yeah, I love it.
No.
Although Colbert has been
Colbert's pretty damn good.
incredible.
I like that we can curse. I wouldn't want to be on mainstream TV because then we couldn't
that's
curse.
correct.
You know why? Because they're all motherfuckers over
I know.
there.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Pieces of shit.
Fucking fuck.
Fuck them. And
piece
my
of
friend
shit.
sent me an
Fuck it.
article that
Dick
said
cock.
that people that
didn't say
have
it.
insomnia are messy and curse are smarter.
Oh, I'm a genius.
And I was like, I'm a fucking genius. I
Oh,
was
it's also
so
like people that are messy live longer. I'm going to be 200.
Yeah. And then someone has to
living
clean-
in a pile of my laundry.
Someone has to clean that
Oh,
up
there's a
after you
shirt from
die.
1974. Oh, look, it's a rug.
No,
date.
that's how I'm scared. My sister and I talk about my parents' house all the time that way because they have like Tupperware from the 70s.
Oh, are they hoarders?
that hasn't had lids since the 70s. And we're like, ooh, that's going to be
Well,
scary.
you can always put tinfoil over it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
no.
That's what my grandmother did.
I mean, that's what it is. I mean, come on.
Anyway, so-
You don't throw out the whole thing.
speaking of Tupperware.
Just because your kid got arrested with a bong, you don't throw him out.
Anyway,
Aiden,
so
this wasn't me. Don't argue with me. Your mother threw you under the bus.
it really is like Thanksgiving every week with you. So
Sexual predator of the week.
you sent me an article,
I did.
which I appreciated.
Of course.
About Blake Farenthold, who is who was a congressman from Texas.
he's
And a
just the-
dickhead.
He's just the poster child.
Yeah,
You
and-
look at his face.
That
and he's
photograph of him in the pajamas.
Oh, I know. He's
with
horrible.
the blonde
Yeah.
gal.
Yeah.
oh my God.
So he
For real.
He
it's like if John Candy played like a
Yeah.
sexual predator.
You'll get through this, Marion.
No, I won't.
Paul and I keep interrupting you.
It's all
It's
right.
a 50-minute
You're men.
segment.
I'm used
it's
to
a
it.
50-minute segment. Just get a drink of water or something.
This is sexual harassment.
No, it's
right there.
not. This
All
is
right,
not
it's just
sexual harassment.
Yes, you're right. Just take the harassment part. Anyway, so the House Ethics Committee was about to rule against him in its investigation to whether he sexually harassed members of his staff, which he did, and he used official money that was supposed to be for his campaign to pay off the people and lied in previous testimony to the committee, according to the office of Jackie Spieler, who's a Democrat in California.
$83,000.
So he owes that money and he resigned so he wouldn't have to pay it, but they're still going to try to get it from him.
And there were even like, okay.
It's
yeah.
$84,000 in taxpayer money that he spent, that he owes.
But now he was able to resign.
Yep,
And nothing's going to happen to him.
I know.
Where is law enforcement? Are you able to just be a congressman and break the law and say, oh, you know,
And then
I
once you're out of
resigned.
Congress,
Maybe
boom.
he should
all
go
of a
get a coffee at Starbucks. And
Because
something
he-
will
he-
in
happen.
blackface.
He was also he
on
was
his way to a minstrel show.
So here's the thing
Fucking
with
jerk
him.
off.
He was about to be brought in
Right.
for a hearing
And disciplined.
on the 11th
Yes,
of this month.
Uh-huh.
And he quit, I think, on the 6th or the 5th.
Right.
right.
Because there were also campaign finance laws that he broke, which
Yeah,
are
exactly.
criminal.
Yeah. Right.
And
There's federal
I agree with you
crimes.
completely, Paul. Once he quits, what? That disappears?
Yeah,
he
well,
hasn't
all
done
the,
that
all
crime?
the
Right,
senators.
where's
are-
Jeff Sessions' DOJ?
Well,
like,
this-
why aren't they doing anything?
Well, the senators are saying, we hope that you'll, in good faith, pay what you owe. And
Yeah, but what about the campaign
Yeah,
finance
how
laws?
about in good faith? Like,
There
we're
should be
gonna
some way to
indict
hand
you.
it off to regular law enforcement once they, like, what the fuck?
He
I
should
feel-
be indicted.
He should.
He should be
I
indicted.
feel well. It really does feel like, having done these sexual predators of the week, that politicians are never held as accountable as Hollywood or
As anybody.
anywhere else.
Anybody.
And it's really disturbing.
Unless
Think
you're-
about that.
unless
what just
you're-
came out of your mouth.
unless
Politicians aren't held accountable.
unless you're Al Franken.
even less than Hollywood.
I know.
That's amazing.
It
Yeah,
is
well, Al
amazing.
Franken. You know what?
I liked it. Franken.
Kristen Gillibrand threw him under the bus.
She did.
And I don't know why he listened to her.
I know.
I agree.
I shouldn't
It
have
was
gone.
ridiculous.
The
But anyway.
jury is still entirely out for me on the Al Franken thing.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so
I
here's
wanna know
our-
more of what
I have
happened.
to do 4 new candidates
Okay,
this week,
gotcha.
though. If you want me to put Al
It's a
Franken back
50-minute
in.
segment, though. It's
I
okay.
know. Anyway, my first candidate is Mark Nichols. He's a Washington attorney, and this kills me. He asked a federal judge to delay his trial over sexual harassment allegations because he's running for re-election, which I kind of think is hilarious.
Because you know, Judge,
The cojones on these people.
you know,
like,
Judge,
come
if
on.
I'm on trial at the same time,
Unbelievable.
I'm doing town halls. It's besmirches my.
How do they sleep at night?
I know. He says he has
I-
conflicting trial date, and Nichols will be in the heart of the election.
Who gives a fuck?
I know. It's
and he
crazy.
shouldn't be elected to whatever it is he's.
Yeah.
He was accused by a former office manager in the prosecuting attorney's office. They filed a lawsuit. So that's number one. Jeff Franklin, he was the showrunner of Netflix Fuller House. He's been fired, according to Variety. Additionally, Warner Brothers TV will not be renewing their overall production deal with Franklin, stating, "We are not renewing Jeff Franklin's production deal, and he no longer will be working on Fuller House."
Gee, a showrunner taking advantage of their position.
I know.
There's a shock.
It comes after complaints about Franklin's behavior in the writer's room and on set. While he has not been accused of directly sexual harassing or engaging in physical misconduct with any staffers, there are accusations of him being verbally abusive to staffers and making comments about his sex life. So that's one. That's two.
Okay.
Then we have Justin Forsyth. He ran the charity Save the Children.
Oh boy.
And
No, save the children from him.
three female employees raised concerns of inappropriate behavior from then CEO Justin Forsyth. At the time, HR conducted investigations into the complaints, and the matter was closed after Forsyth apologized to all the women. However, the organization recently found out that processes had not been followed in every aspect. Can you be any vaguer?
Yeah.
They announced that they will reopen a review into Forsyth's action and released a published report. And they will release a report in June this year to examine the culture of the organization.
But we don't know what he did.
Right.
All right.
Forsyth said he would resign from his current position as the deputy executive director of UNICEF. So, yeah, I know. So that's creepy.
Need a shower after that one.
This last contestant is Gary Goddard.
Our last contestant.
Our last contestant. I call
And
them
you may want a
contestants
date.
because they have to win.
Hello, Gary.
And we have Gary Goddard. Come on down.
Gary Goddard.
He's a director-producer accused by one man of sexually molesting him when the man was 12.
Whoa.
He denies the allegation.
I know where this one's going.
To the young male actors in his retinue in Santa Barbara in the 70s,
Retinue.
Gary Goddard was an exalted figure, a successful former theater prodigy. Goddard returned through his 20s to direct and mentor child actors in his hometown, vowing to
Convenient.
bring the most talented with him to Hollywood.
Oh boy.
He attracted a constant orbit of devoted boys, other referred to as the Goddardites. But the seemingly idyllic setting of privilege and promise had a dark edge for several members of the theater group. For 4 decades later, many of them say they have been haunted by their encounters with
Yeah, well, there
Goddard.
were no fucking
Yeah.
warning signals going there. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, come to Hollywood with me.
Come in, I'm gonna get you
Be one of my
famous.
guitards.
I'm going to make you famous.
Oh my god!
So they
People's
describe
parents let
the-
them-
like a guitar.
Did parents let them do that?
I guess
parents
no.
paid
There
for
was
that.
a whole tour. You could go to Michael Jackson's ranch. You could. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow!
But really,
Wow!
what
Even
is-
Nelly
what's
just looked
with
at you crooked.
what's with the parents that like encourage this?
I know.
know.
But
Because that was with
people-
Michael
those
Jackson, too.
theater moms. It's ridiculous. So they describe Goddard's advances as ranging from straying hands on thighs during lulls in a production, or fondling in a darkened Disneyland ride, to repeated incidents of sexual abuse during the troupe's overnight stays and statewide tour.
Oh god!
In addition, Edwards
Oh,
and
the Disney
another
thing. That's
former
something you
theater
can't unhear.
he said in interviews that a classmate who has since died, Scott Durnovich, told them that he was sexually assaulted by Goddard as a boy.
It gives the phrase "Let's go for a spin in the teacups" a whole new meaning.
Yeah, I was gonna do something Magic Mountain.
Oh, wait, that's good. That's good. Yeah,
Space Mountain?
there's
Space-
so-
oh, I got it wrong. Shit.
I fucked that.
It's a
one up.
small world.
It's-
Oh, that's just wrong.
Oh,
All right,
boy.
so guys,
wow.
you got to vote.
Wow.
For
I
me,
think-
this one's easy.
Yeah, he wins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Goddard.
He wins.
Goddard.
Piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unanimous. This is the first time we've had a unanimous.
What? It's unanimous.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, our,
Wow.
our winner is.
And
Gary
Glenn
Goddard.
and I didn't even. There was no.
I don't
ruminating.
usually.
No.
This is what
Boom.
Glenn usually. Well, the other guy was. She was underage. So,
Yeah.
but the
And there
other
was
guy.
And there was a hurricane. Oh wait, no, that was the other. That was the other quiz.
Well, I was gonna
Oh,
say.
that's right. Then we tape on the
Right.
windows. What are you talking about?
No, and I was gonna say we're running out of contestants, so
Oh.
I might start doing quizzes again because I do so enjoy when you go
all
through
right.
your
I love the
process.
quizzes.
I'm actually. I'm a little tired of
Horrible
sexual.
men.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
It's so horrifying. And,
Yeah.
and Nelly agrees, right?
Well, it was supposed to be a 1 week segment,
It's
Right.
on my side.
And
but-
I've,
there were so
I've
many.
Literally, I've done 85 guys.
wow.
wow. Wow.
Yeah. So,
You've done 85
yeah.
guys.
I mean, I haven't-
freaking hoa. My brother went to Brooklyn College, and he was in a poetry
I'm
class.
sorry.
And they were like, the assignment was bring in something to read. And this guy, a very New York accent, he brought in the boxer, and he said, "Just to come on from the Whoas on 7th Avenue." Everybody was just like, "Wow!" Just to come on from the Whoas.
Speaking of who is, I need
Speaking
a
of Whoas,
drink.
what are we gonna drink?
Yeah, what are we gonna drink?
What are we gonna give this Hoa?
Well, I did bring in what I was going to bring in last week, and
Liquor?
and I found out why I didn't have it.
Why?
Stacy had taken it out of my bag for something else and didn't tell me.
For what?
I thought it was in my bag.
Oh,
what is it?
Remember he was rifling through his bag
so-
like a girl last
He
week?
really was. I thought he was going to
You're
get
like
a
me
lamp.
looking for my lipstick. I was
He
like,
got a lamp and a cup of coffee. And...
so what?
So,
yes.
It's when Stacy and I were out in California,
yeah.
staying at her sister and brother-in-law's place.
Uh-huh.
They had these 2 trees. One was a California bay leaf tree.
Oh,
and the
we
other
had that.
Oh,
was
the bay
yeah, we
leaf.
did have that one, but
The
they
tincture.
also had a Kafir lime tree.
Oh, better.
Do you guys know what
Wow.
Kafir lime is?
Yeah.
No.
It's a whole other kind of lime. It's actually
stuff
very
you spend a lot of money for at Whole Foods.
it's a very bitter lime, but the leaves
Yeah.
are so but you can use Kafir limes themselves for certain things.
All right. I have 2 friends that have been asking for your recipes.
I know we need to deal with that.
Okay, we're gonna do
Yeah.
a page. Everybody calm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just want to
This will
clarify.
actually
I got
require
things.
listening for me because so many of my drinks in this format are improvised.
Right.
So I would literally have to. I would pretty much know what I did just by listening to it. And
We'll
know
do it.
proportions.
It's fine.
Yeah,
right.
we'll wing it. like
All
we
right.
usually
We'll
So-
make it work.
So anyhow, this will be Kafir,
Okay.
the tincture that I created,
Okay.
with some orange and some lemon.
Okay.
And
What's the booze? So far, she's not drunk,
Well, I wanted to see if we had.
That's what I was waiting for. Yes.
I don't think we have any left.
And she's hangry
Any
right now.
tequila or mezcal, but if not, it might be tequila.
Okay.
You said.
Oh, I have a good name for your drink.
I mean vodka. I'm sorry.
I have a good name.
I thought I had a mini stroke. She's like, what the fuck is? I don't know.
I have a good name for it.
She's listening.
Yeah, what?
Kafir of God.
Oh,
Wow, that's pretty good.
Thank you.
Oh, that was like an
I love
immediate
naming the
goodness.
cocktails. All right. So when we
we're
come
gonna miss her
back,
when she goes
we're
to
gonna-
Australia.
Thank you. I'm going down under.
yeah.
And
That's what he
All
said.
right then.
she's a hilla. Welcome back to the Great American Shit Show. We're wearing the same thing.
I know. We did not plan this.
No,
and
haven't.
we have the same glasses.
We do
But
have
you're
the
looking
same glasses.
fabulous. Oh, you're not wearing yours.
Put my
This is
glasses on,
great.
So we really look like twins.
Nice.
Is it he or is it she?
We look like beatniks.
We do.
We really do.
No,
I,
we
I should
just-
have a beret
No, we're just old. Okay.
and smoke.
Cigarette.
So what do you got
Okay.
for us today, Glenn?
Glenn, what are we making?
All right.
Before she
Smooth
gets, she's
sounds.
already out of control.
We are,
Already just losing control.
and I just realized I forgot to get that thing out of my bag.
That's what he said.
Okay, well there goes Glenn.
And then I was pregnant.
Okay.
Okay,
Where's
we'll be-
his bag's in Brooklyn.
starting
He's got
this
to take the subway.
again.
Oh, this is good. Oh, he got
Oh,
it right
look
away.
at- It's
This
a
is
little
good.
tincture. Just pull it out.
Oh,
of
it's
your
a
bag.
tincture. Oh, the police must
You should
love
go
you.
on Let's Make a Deal with that bag.
Yeah.
They're like, do you have a tincture
I have
of
$500
something
in my jacket.
a tincture of bay lime?
They're like, no, nobody's gonna have that shit. All right.
All right.
What are you making?
What do you
All
mean?
right, so I'm going to get something together here with vodka as the base,
Good base.
orange, some lime, a Kafir lime tincture that I made from Kafir lime leaves from California,
Well, if you made them from any other leaf,
Fancy.
you'd have to rename
and
it.
a little surprise addition of some muddled strawberries.
Oh, he's muddling and tincture. This is a greatest hit.
He's muddling.
This is gonna have to go on our recipe page.
He's
Nelly is
muddling.
doing a
All
little
right.
jig back there because she
So
heard muddling.
while you guys are chatting, I'm going to dive in.
Well, I
Oh
can't.
no, we can see what you're doing. What are you doing? I know she complained last week that you were.
Look at me, I'm muddling strawberries.
Look at so sexy.
He's being a
Glenn.
wise ass now.
So sexy.
I'm muddling strawberries.
It's the
Let's
Caddyshack
do it in
thing.
her beatnik voice. So sexy the way you're muddling those strawberries, Glenn.
Babe, muddle.
Dude, you're
Strawberry.
The sound is good too.
You're
Here, let me
so
go.
cool. You're so cool. You're groovy, man.
No.
You're groovy, man. Muddling. So what you? So you just muddling is just smashing,
Yeah,
basically.
it's just smashing
That
it
was
up
one of the
into
worst
Just a
a
moves
fancy-
ever right there.
What?
We couldn't
You're
even gone to
so-
Halloween as beatniks. People have been like, what the fuck
I just sounded like my mother.
Actually, we look like we work in like supercuts.
I know. And I sound, that's my mother voice, because my mom kind of sounds like a porn star.
Oh,
She's got like, she's like, you've reached the home and office of Joyce Malerba Goldstein and Ira Goldstein.
And I'm at 917.
Press 1 for blowjobs. That's what I always tease her about, because she
That's
does
great.
she has a sexy voice, which is a good thing.
I can't, and having seen your mother, I can't get that out of my head now.
What?
great.
You don't think 70.
I think
something.
she's very.
No, she's great.
Very your mother.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we got, Glenn? We're
right.
going to this one.
I'm still muddling.
I'm muddling the conversation.
Look, it's like a strawberry puree going. on.
Yeah, it's like a
That's
little.
yummy.
It's a little.
I can smell it from here.
I know.
Right? It smells good, right?
That's what he said.
She
Sorry.
so needs this
I love
trip.
that joke. And I'm sorry.
Are you looking forward to your trip, really?
I'm a little scared about the flying, but I know once I get there, it's going to be
Once
great.
you're up in the air an hour and you take a couple of pills, you'll be fine.
I
you'll be
did
fine.
fill up Xanax. You don't know how frightened I am of
Why are you
flying,
so
and I
afraid
can't
of flying?
believe I have to do it 4 times in one day. I mean, in
then
3
back.
days and back. You go through 3 time zones.
I know.
So
That's-
you book
that's exciting.
you book your flight, and then you're there 3 days later.
Who was it? It was a comedian that said, I flew to Australia, and when I got there, it was the time before I left. So
Right.
I called my phone and I answered.
That's perfect. That's exactly what. But I'm very
I love
excited.
to steal other people's material.
Yeah.
At least I say it.
No, I'm excited. I'm speaking at a conference in Melbourne.
What's the conference?
It's almost 1,000 rescue workers who
Oh.
from all over the world discussing post-traumatic experience.
Wow, that
So-
sounds like fun.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
I flew 16 hours to talk about your pain.
35 hours complete with layovers. Anyway, but I'm
But who's
very
counting?
I'm very excited because I get to meet my Shiro Gill Hicks, who she actually had her legs blown off in the London bombing. And she's a peace ambassador, and she goes all over the world because, they're like, don't you hate those Muslims for blowing off your legs? And she's like, no. And she goes all over the world
I
talking
think
about
I need a drink now.
That's awesome.
No, she's really cool.
No, I know. It's going to be great.
But it's going to be great.
It's gonna
So,
be great.
I
Are you
know,
doing
it's
anything
not
fun?
funny.
Other than,
And then
like,
I'm going to do stand-up.
I just
this
met this
is like-
chick
this
with her
is my
legs
life.
blown
You don't
off.
even
I'll tell
understand.
you what. She's
So,
some party.
Yeah, I'm a comedian, and then I become a 9/11 widow.
Yeah,
Do you know
I
how
know.
challenging that is? It's a
It's not
tough
challenging
crowd.
for you. It's actually pretty good.
That is a tough
You
crowd.
do it well.
Your
Well,
husband,
thank you.
Dave, would be proud of you
Aw,
being
thank
able to
you.
laugh.
Yeah.
No, I did.
Laugh
I
at his
did
pain.
feel lucky because I made the other widows laugh at every wake, and my joke was, "I'll be here at 2 and 6."
Oh, great.
Because you had 2 wakes a day.
And
That was
then,
my joke.
so when she walked in, people were like, wow, she's going to say it. She's going to say it.
I know.
seriously,
I'm
go
like that uncle that says the same joke over and over
I
again.
got your nose.
I got your nose.
Got your nose.
Yeah.
Okay, Glenn, how are we doing?
We're getting pretty there. We're
Ignoring
close.
him again.
Oh God, we totally ignore Glenn
ignoring him
every
again.
week. We're like, wait, oh yeah.
When
Glenn's
we're
here.
going to relaunch this thing in a new
forgot.
studio, and we're going to the Glenn segment is going to be clean and beautiful.
Yeah, he's gonna wear a beret.
There's going to be like
He's
shots
gonna
of
be
the
A
smoking.
beret.
He's gonna like.
What's with the smoking?
Because it's the beatnik.
Do you know?
thing.
I
It's
Everybody
in a
smoked
holder.
back then.
I didn't even date
Everyone
anybody.
smoked clove cigarettes.
You and your sister.
Oh no,
clove
I didn't
cigarettes
do
remind me of-
clove. I didn't do
Oh,
clove.
Leah loved those clove cigarettes. It was
No,
like,
I
what
don't
the
think
fuck?
she did that.
You smell like a ham. Just do something else.
It's a good smell.
No,
All right.
It is worse.
Disgusting.
Come on.
Time for
So what are you
vodka.
doing? What do you got?
Time for vodka.
Shut this guy up. Make a
Time for
drink.
vodka.
Vodka. Where's my jigger?
That's what they say in Staten Island.
I need my jigger.
Vodka.
You can
Vodka.
say that every week.
Vodka. No, my friend
Alzheimer's.
Jackie, she
Alzheimer's.
literally says vodka. Oh yeah, really?
Do you know I read a thing today that Alzheimer's starts at birth?
Two.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's
I
why
hope they're
I
wrong.
can't remember being born. You knew that happened. Anyway, what do you got? How many jiggers?
I'm
Very
doing
good.
4.5.
He's doing more now.
He's like,
Yeah,
he
right.
won't
I don't
shut
know.
up.
I need to
don't
drink.
wanna
Keep
talk.
pouring.
And I will
4
be going
jiggers of
with
vodka.
some cherry hearing.
Cherry
Oh, cherry
herring.
herring.
And we have orange and lemon and
Yes.
kaffir lime tincture.
I have not put the kafir in yet, but
He has
I
not
will.
put the tincture in.
The Kafir of God.
The tincture will be coming.
The tincture is coming.
Any moment.
Yeah, we should do it.
1.5 with the cherry herring.
Music stations. We have the cherry herring.
My kids laughed so
Yeah,
hard.
it's like a
I had a
golf-
classical music station on, and the guy said that was the 1874 version of something in Russian. And then he said, which translates to my what a lovely basket or something like that.
Right, no, I know. That's the funniest thing. They'll be like, that was
Oh
Mozart.
no, it was my how full is your basket?
my
I was like, really?
And then I love how they have the accents so down. They're like, Je pense pas DVD from Chopin. That was Chopin.
Dishwasher.
Yeah, from there. And here comes an ad for Coca-Cola.
All right, so
I always like that when Obama would do that, like, and yes, and then we're going to be going in to bomb Al-Qaeda.
I know he was good. He was
Italian. I don't speak any other language except
Time to shake
English.
this up.
I
You
barely
speak
speak that.
Brooklyn.
That's true, motherfucker.
motherfucker.
Hey, I'm not a gavon. What?
Oh, I hear
All
ice. I hear ice.
Ice.
What's happening?
I don't know, but
Ice,
it's
ice,
taking a hell
baby.
of a long time.
Jesus.
See?
This is like happy hour at Penn Station.
I'm
This
not.
is like
I'm not
going to get a drink.
I'm not spritzing Coke into a glass of rum.
This is
That's
like,
why I wanted to do a glass of wine for
this
my
is
drink.
like
This
getting a
had like
drink
5 ingredients.
at like a place outside of Charlottesville.
yeah, and they charge $30
Like,
for it.
oh, what do you want? All right. I don't
Oh,
know
he's
if we have a
shaking.
tincture.
He's shaking.
He's shaking like a fuck. Look at that.
So how much of your tincture did you put in?
I put in.
You can't get the
I
top
was gonna say
off.
I put in a good squirt, but it doesn't sound good. It just
Ready?
doesn't.
That's what she said.
That just doesn't sound right.
I put in a good squirt. I put in a good squirt.
No! No Trump voice allowed.
squirts like me.
Oh my God.
Biggest squirt ever.
Oh, I can't. Poor Melania. I can't believe she still
Right?
listens to that
Well,
voice.
she doesn't like. She listens to him. She's not even near him
She
in the
probably
way.
has those noise canceling Bose
Yeah.
earbuds.
She's got Trump
Be like,
canceling
I'm
earbuds.
sorry, what did you say, sweetheart?
I can't hear you.
Don't hold to my hand. Go away.
She hates him. She
hates
literally
him.
despises
Yeah,
him.
you can tell.
All right, let's see
All
how
right,
this
well,
came out.
This is a pretty
Ooh, look at
color. It looks like a almost tomatoey.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
It does. It's red.
No, it looks maroon.
Maroon.
What did we call this? A kafir?
Kafir of God.
Kafir of God.
Kafir of God.
We'll give
All
names
right.
when he comes
Delicious.
back.
Ooh,
And this one is
delicious.
for
Smells-
Nelly.
Smells very citrusy.
It smells
See
strawberry.
how it came
We gotta wait.
out.
We gotta wait for him. Jesus. Christ.
Sorry, I've been waiting
Oh.
a really long time.
I know.
Oh, just
All
do it.
cheers.
All right. Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.
Where's yours?
Right there.
Okay.
Ooh, that's really good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a
Oh,
second
that's
sip.
tasty.
All right.
I love it. And we'll put the recipe up this time.
Okay.
Oh,
All
that's
right.
really, really good.
Awesome.
Oh, Glenn.
Another
Right on the
Fanta.
money.
Look, I like that. Are we doing that now?
That's awesome.
That's the truth. All right. So thanks for putting up with us. I say that every
Can't
week.
believe you listen.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Love you, Nelly.